Talk about Landman. You've been checking that out, eh? The new Taylor Sheridan. After the disappointment of Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan's come out with a new series called Landman, and it's based on a podcast. Actually, it's based on a podcast called Boomtown. And if you listen to the podcast, it's a podcast about that area in Texas that Landman is based on. So it's a boomtown because it's an area in Texas that's got a lot of oil, and oil is booming there. So this podcast talks about the area. It's the western side of Texas, the southern western side of Texas that comes up to the Mexican border. But because it's a boomtown, it attracts all single men to go down to make money. And it talks about the patches and talks about the people that work in the minefields. And they have to live there and that. So it's similar, and they get paid well. So they get paid $200,000 a year. That's their starting salary. But it's a really dangerous job, and you get hurt, you can get killed. So they tend to hire, because no one wants to do the job. They tend to hire ex-cons, ex-criminals, and all that kind of stuff. They come out of jail, they go work there because there's a lot of money at the same time. Yeah, it talks about the prostitution, a lot of prostitution happening, because when it comes to boomtowns and you get all the single guys there, the entertainment is a big draw card. So prostitution, bars, strip clubs, all that kind of stuff, drugs. There's a lot of drugs there. It's that kind of thing. It's a hostile environment, for a place where there's a lot of work and it's a dangerous job and no one wants to do it. And you get a certain kind of people always in those kind of places, eh? But the podcast talks about the whole crew that gets killed in the fire, and it's probably the same sort of adaptation they had in the first episode of Landman, eh? When those Mexican brothers get killed in the first episode.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, but
anyhow, I had an idea it was dangerous, but man, they put it in a new perspective.
But the thing I like about the series is the acting.
Yeah.
And the storyline and what it's about. So Billy Bob Thornton, he plays the Landman.
Yeah.
And he's the sort of front man for the oil companies. He has to go around, make the deals to secure the oil under people's lands. So the thing is, the people keep their land, and the oil companies just want the oil. So they make a deal with them that they'll pay these landowners a certain amount of money every month.
Yeah.
And all we want is to build our rigs there and take your oil. So, but Billy Bob Thornton's job is to close the deals and then manage the land, right? So they have to build infrastructure. So they have to build roads and to get the oil, to get the trucks to the oils, and then to take it out again. So we're talking about millions of dollars, billions of dollars. It's a $1 billion industry. And the amount of money they're giving away, like to attain the land, is a lot of money, right? And you'll be a fool to say no. And if you're a landowner in that area of Texas, that's just the background and the context of the business deals that go around. But the story is great, eh? It's a. If you listen to the podcast and you go back to watching Landman, you'll see the relationship. Like you'll see, like the podcast is the factual side of it, right? And then if you go into watch Landman, you'll see the story within that factual world that the podcast has created, right? So it's really interesting, and that sort of thing. Sort of reminds me about Western Australia with the mines. Yeah. So you wonder if that's the same sort of thing, like the mines, a lot of money to be made. Single people go there because it's like these 3 weeks in, live there in the camp, and then do 1 week off. So you go back home for 1 week, and then you go back, make a lot of money, but you lose. There's a lot of time lost with your family and that. So it's a single man's game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the feeling I got when I heard the podcast. But then going back into the series, Landman, yeah, it's great. Eh? Acting's great. Billy Bob Thornton is the man. Eh? He's the man in this.
Man on this show. It's real good. He's just kicked out really well.
Yeah. So it's interesting to me because as well as Billy Bob Thornton being a landman and doing the business deals and all that, it's always about his personal life. So he's married to his ex-wife is this extravagant, high maintenance woman. She's real crack up there. And they sort of get back together again because he's currently living on a house owned by the oil company, but he flats with the company's lawyer, and one of the workers.
Yeah.
So it's like a bachelor pad. Those three living in this big, nice house in the middle of Texas. And then the story moves on to be about him and his relationship with his ex-wife. His ex-wife leaves her current husband, come back with him because they've got 2 kids, a daughter who's sort of extravagant in her own right, and a son who is quite opposite. So if the ex-wife and Billy Bob Thornton are opposites, then their kids are lined up with them. So the daughter's lined up with the mum, and the son's lined up with him. Because the son wants to be an oil guy, right? And he's a university degree guy. He been to the university. He's got this. I think he dropped out. He didn't drop out, or did he finish? But he had a.
Yeah, I think he did finish, but he really wanted to get like. I remember seeing he was saying that he wanted to get the knowledge of how to run an oil rig and all this hurrah. So he just basically put himself in that position, practically on site. So he's just learning how to do all of this stuff. Not trained for it at all, by the looks of it, because those 3 Mexican guys show him how to do everything pretty much.
There's sort of not really a plot. The plot comes up real slow, because we mostly get a story about Billy Bob Thornton and his private life,
Yeah.
So he plays a guy named Tommy Norris. He gets back with his ex-wife called Angela, played by Ali Lalata, which is she's great, I think she's a great she's a great actress.
She's so great when it comes to her scenes. I like skipping forward.
Yeah.
I find her annoying. I'm just
So they're like a toxic relationship,
Yeah.
But they try to make it work for the sake of the kids, I think. But he's in love with her,
Yeah.
And she's so extravagant. She's so like high maintenance. She always wants to get her way, and all that,
But he just lets her.
And she can get 0 to 100 like quickly,
Oh no, bro! Emotionally,
yeah,
everything.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those relationships you see on TV, and you think, man, you either wish you were in one of those, or you don't.
Man, I was laughing at my brother when he saw it. He was like, "How do you handle a woman like that?" And I said, "Bro, trust me, I inexperienced in that shit, man."
But Billy Bob Thornton's so cool.
Yeah,
he can handle it,
That's why I was like, "Oh, dumb man,
Yeah,
he can handle all that." So I was like, "Shit."
Yeah. So you throw in sort of like a soap opera, sort of like a sitcom style storyline with Billy Bob Thornton, his ex-wife, and his kids. Hey, you throw in like it's like a sitcom, Like their storyline into this dark context of what I described before, what the podcast described. You throw in a drug cartel that's in the background because he makes a deal with them owning the land in the beginning of the series in episode 1. You don't really see the cartel at all, but they sort of cause trouble in bits and pieces along the way in the series. But I think now it's ramped up to the point where the cartel is going to be
a big issue.
And now they're going to be involved because the next episode is going to be the finale that's going to come out next Monday. So I think along the way, in terms of storyline with good versus bad, you don't really get that at all. The bad antagonist is always in the background. You never really see it because you're too caught up in Tommy Norris and his sort of personal life, working in this environment. You see him dealing with his boss, who's his best friend, played by John Hamm, the owner of the whole oil company. So he's in Dallas. He's in the office. He's in the suits. He's in the office. He's flying helicopters. He's having the big meetings in the corporation, sort of stuff. And he has direct contact with Billy Bob, since Billy Bob is a landman and he's on the ground. So he's the eyes and ears and what's going on with the business. And Demi Moore's in this too. So Demi Moore plays John Hamm's wife. We don't really get to see her much either. She might play a big role. She is a big actress. She might play a big role later on.
Yeah.
But I think this series has all the parts of a good storyline, Like, I like the way I like the whole sitcom thing storyline. Like, embedded in this sort of
real
life, raw, rugged lifestyle that's really intriguing. Because you imagine if you're a young guy, would you work there? Would you work in this kind of environment? Would you work for $200,000 a year? Working in a patch, we get to know what a patch is, the lifestyle of working on an oil farm or in the oil rig and all that kind of stuff. That's intriguing to me, right? And the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts and how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
So we get to see the bit of both worlds there. Like on the ground, we can see the business side. There's interesting things where John Hamm's having a meeting with the big dogs and they're talking about society in terms of what we're doing oil and versus caring for the environment.
Yeah.
The environmental kind of stuff. That's interesting too. It brings up a lot of issues that would bring up a lot of conversations about, especially the environmental stuff, which I found interesting too.
Yeah, it's a good show. I really enjoyed it. It's the interaction between Billy Thornton and all the other characters. He's so funny. He keeps it real. Man. And they have his interaction with the cartel and how he doesn't really see them as a threat. Because basically they're not. There's only priorities to get the oil out of the land. But the cartel, they see that they just want to get their shit, their cocaine or whatever, distributed to America. And the oil companies are in the way. So, yeah, it's correct.
Yeah, so the finale of the season will happen next week, or this coming Monday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, true. I actually thought it was finished already. So I thought I only had one more episode left. I better get onto it then.
Yeah. But no, that's Landman. That's on Prime. Hey, Prime.
Yeah. It's funny too, Sheldon's got another show. My brother's actually watching this other show called The Lioness Season 2. And that's one of Sheldon's shows as well. You're saying it's pretty good. So I might go have a go at it. So I like all this kind of war type movies. So it goes hand in hand with my gaming, like, Call of Duty, war, TV shows. So yeah, I might check out The Lioness as well. It's got quite a few shows, eh? So there's 2 shows in the beginning of this year.
Yeah, well, you just finished Yellowstone. Landman's coming to an end, and then I think 1923 starts again, season 2, end of February.
It's got shows.
And yeah, you're right. Lioness is another one of his. Taylor Sheridan's hot right down in Paramount. So
yeah, apparently he put himself as a character in the season 2 of Lioness as well, as an operator. So yeah, I want to see how cheesy that is as well, compared to his character in Yellowstone.
Yeah.